Chin up, shoulders back, fake it till you make it. You've got to have confidence. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about starting off your 2019 with lots and lots of confidence. Let's face it, we're all human, and there are going to be so many moments in your music career when you are faced with a lack of confidence. Whether it's getting on stage or being in the studio or being in an interview, we all have our moments of weakness and the things that we don't feel as confident in ourselves about doing. So, how are we going to take those moments and the skills that we have learned and turn it into something that makes it seem like we have all the confidence in ourselves in the world? Getting confident about what you do will absolutely help you in your music career. So today I wanted to give you some tips on how to work through those insecurities and maybe help you with some ideas on how to take all the things that you know how to do and really put the focus on that so that your insecurities and the things that you're unconfident about will actually be pushed to the background. So I figured I would start this video off with talking about my biggest fear when it comes to the music industry. Some of you may know that I actually started off in the music industry as a singer and then a songwriter and then got more into the business side of things. So from a very young age, I think I actually was 6 years old the very first time I stepped on stage, I started becoming a singer and having to get on stage more often. By the age of 14, 15, 16 years old, I was singing professionally all over the place, making my living actually doing that while going to high school at the same time. As I progressed through my career, got into my 20s, I started performing really frequently. And one thing that I never ever got over was stage fright. No matter what show it was, whether it was a simple one-song performance, whether it was a full band performance, no matter what I was doing, I was always faced with a horrible bout of stage fright right before I would go on stage. A lot of times it would subside after a couple songs, but the more that I kept doing it, I kept waiting for that fear to go away because I figured with experience comes confidence. Well, that's not always the case because I had performed on stage for about 20 years of my professional career, and never once did I ever go on stage without feeling nervous or insecure. Now, it wasn't because I had a lack of confidence in what I was doing. I knew that I could fulfill my duty and perform well and sing the songs that I had set out to sing. It was just an overall feeling of terror, like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be on stage being looked at. But what I did was I worked through that every single time, and I really tried to condition myself with different exercises and things that I learned from others, from asking other people, and finally got to a point where even though I was afraid and nervous and unconfident about getting on stage, I found the tools that I needed to work through it to actually make it enjoyable and a successful opportunity for myself. So if you are facing the same fear that I had with getting on stage making you nervous, here is a quick list of things that you can do to just help yourself if you feel like you're in that same situation. The number one thing you can do, and it might seem a little bit silly or it might seem like something that's just a given, but that is drinking lots of water. I don't care how hydrated you feel, the minute you step on stage and you're under a spotlight, even if there are no spotlights, the minute you step on stage, your anxiety is going to kick in a little and that's going to make you sweat. So how can you counteract that? If we feel dehydrated, we're not going to sing well, our throats are going to get dry, we're not going to perform at our best. So making sure you are completely hydrated at all times with a bottle of water on stage during sound check and your performance is definitely going to help you in the case that you might be nervous getting on stage. Next is moving around. Now, I know one of the things that used to make me nervous was to think about getting on stage and having to actually perform, moving around. I always felt more comfortable in a stool or standing in one spot with a mic on a stand, but I'm telling you, the more you actually physically move your body around, it's going to wear out some of those nerves and it's going to make you feel like you have the ability to kind of push out your stress through your movements, and it's going to actually help you look and appear more confident. There's nothing worse than a singer getting on stage and standing in one spot, not moving and looking terrified. that doesn't make me want to go back and see that artist perform again. But if they're on stage and they're lively interacting with the crowd and putting their hands into motion and moving their feet, it actually makes for a whole better experience for the audience as well as you performing, because not only is it getting rid of some of your fear, it's making the audience feel more comfortable as well. Next is actually just being prepared. There are so many times when I see singers getting ready to go on stage, they're super nervous, and a lot of the times that is completely related to the fact that they are just simply unprepared. Now that can mean a multitude of different things. Either they're unprepared with their set list and they haven't rehearsed enough, or they haven't really gone over in their head what their talking points are. So some of the things that you can do to kind of counteract that is, number one, just learn your music ahead of time. Whether it's sticking it in your headphones, putting it in your car, when you're working out, just constantly have that music playing in the background. Whether you know it or not, you're gonna be learning it that way. Also, just make out your set list ahead of time so you know what's coming next. If you have your set list prepared and on stage and you know what's coming next, you're gonna seem more confident. It's gonna make it appear like you have done this a million times, even if you've never done this set list in order before. If you know it ahead of time, you're gonna appear more confident. That's gonna make the audience feel more comfortable, and it's gonna make you look more professional. With that being said, another tip you can do is actually, if you have nerves about speaking in between your songs, put little notes in your set lists with speaking prompts. So what I mean by this is, after the first two songs, you're gonna take a break and talk to the audience. Maybe this is where you introduce yourself, you tell a little bit about your background. Put that into your set list. Maybe intro bio or something like that. Maybe a couple songs later, you want to do a social media shout out. In your set list, write social media shout out so that you know, no matter when or where you are in your set list or during your show, you always have a quick guideline. If you forget what you're going to talk about, you just glance down, okay, this is the point where I'm going to talk about social media. You can actually create a list ahead of time of ideas so that you never run out of things to say. You want to thank your parents, you want to thank the venue owner, you want to thank your band, you want to thank anybody who contributed to your being there today. Tell people about how you started off in music, who your influences were, why you chose to write this song or perform this song. Tell people to follow you on social media. Take out your phone right now and follow me on Instagram, and I'm gonna give a free CD away to somebody during the show who has followed me. Take a picture with your phone, post it on Facebook after the show, and tell everybody to tag themselves. This is gonna do so many things for you. It's gonna make you look confident, like you've done all of these things so many times before. It's gonna appeal to the audience because they're gonna feel connected and involved with you. It's going to promote your social media, so it's gonna do all of these things. If you're prepared ahead of time, know exactly what you're walking into, know what you're gonna say, know what you're gonna sing, know what you're gonna do, that is the key to making yourself look confident and secure in what you're doing. You don't always have to be. It's okay to feel scared and to be nervous about what you're gonna do when you're on stage. But if you have a guideline, it's going to make it so much easier for you to appear professional and confident in what you're doing. Okay, next I wanna quickly touch on having anxiety about going into the studio. This is so weird because you think about going into the studio and thinking about, okay, well, I can sing a song, and if it doesn't turn out the way I want to, I can just re-record over that. They can wipe it clean and I can do it again. No matter what you do in the studio, it can be replaced, erased, and forgotten. So why do we have anxiety about going into the studio? I don't know. I always did. It was something that I always felt uncomfortable doing. I think it's because with a band around you, you know that the thing that you're gonna sing is going to be put out into the world and that's it. But when you're in a studio with a microphone in front of you, it can give you anxiety, I know, to sing a song right there with the microphone on you, eyes on you, ears on you. So the way to get through this kind of anxiety is also to just really be prepared. Practice before you get there, memorize your lyrics so you're not glued to a lyric sheet. Make it as comfortable as you can. You can also close your eyes in the vocal booth if it makes you feel more comfortable. Just pretend you're all alone. Do little exercises beforehand, breathing, anything to just kind of calm your nerves, and remind yourself that no matter how many mistakes you could possibly make, they can always be fixed, especially when you're in the studio. One other thing that can make you feel more confident in the studio is to make sure that your in-ear mix is exactly the way you want it. So if you're new to the studio, you might not even know what it is that you want in your in-ears. So talk to the engineer or the person helping you in the studio. When you put your headphones on, there should be a little box inside your booth where you can turn up your own vocal or turn down a certain instrument. Maybe there's too much acoustic guitar in your ears and you're having trouble hearing yourself. If you don't have the little box in your room where you can actually physically turn down the instruments on your own, don't be afraid to tell the engineer, hey, I need a little bit less acoustic guitar in my ears. I'm having trouble hearing myself. Can you boost my vocal? Another thing you can do to help you feel a little bit more confident is to actually hear your vocal with a little reverb on it. Nobody likes to hear their vocal completely dry and naked. I don't care who you are, even Carrie Underwood probably doesn't like to hear that. So you can ask the engineer to just add a little reverb to your vocal. It's gonna make you sound really awesome. It's gonna make you feel like you're on stage. It's gonna give a little bit of that familiar sound to you. So definitely ask the engineer to put a little touch of reverb on your vocal before you start singing. And that's gonna make your confidence level go way up, I promise you. Okay, the last thing I wanted to talk about is interview anxiety. I totally get it. We can all get nervous when we're sitting down with someone. We have no idea what they're about to ask us. Some of us get nervous when we're about to speak and we say things that we haven't pre-thought about beforehand and we're worried what's gonna come out of our mouth next. So some of the things that you can do to kind of set yourself up for success when you're in the position to have to give an interview, whether it be on radio or for a print ad or an online blogger or even on video, is to actually prepare the person interviewing you. There is no better position to be in than the person in power. So before you sit down with the person who is interviewing you or before you have a phone call with them, reach out to them and actually send them some talking points or some pre-thought out questions. And you can do this incredibly easily, whether it's in an email or you want to kind of spruce it up a little bit with a PDF or something. All you need to do is write down 6, 7, 8 talking points that you are hoping the interviewer talks about. You can actually give them prompts by saying, you know, so-and-so won the Vocalist of the Year award in the New England Country Music Awards, or whatever it is that you are trying to promote. This person hit 10,000 views on their last YouTube video. So what you can do is actually create a list of all these talking points that you are giving the interviewer to ask you. This does so many things. It will prepare the interviewer because they're gonna know ahead of time what they're supposed to ask you. 9 times out of 10, an interviewer will not do their homework and they'll get into the interview and start asking you general questions. How did you get into music? Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. And that doesn't always lead to the most out of the interview. So if you prepare them ahead of time by giving them a list of the things that you'd like to talk about, it's going to be a happier experience for all because you're going to be more confident going into the interview, knowing the things ahead of time that you're going to be asked. The interviewer is going to be more confident because they already have things to ask you. And you're going to get the most out of the interview because it's going to be talking about the things that you most want to promote. So, like I said, give a brief description on who you are, maybe a short background on your bio, a couple things that you want to talk about, whether it's your new album coming out, a show you have coming out, you know, your YouTube video, a recent performance you gave, the day that you met your idol, whatever it is, make sure they talk about that. Also include all of your social media handles so that they know to promote your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever it is you are looking to promote on that interview. And don't forget to put your website because that's always a great virtual business card for people to kind of go and find out more information about you. Even if you don't always feel like you have the confidence that you need, just pretend you do. Pretending will get you halfway there, I promise, and it will probably convince most of the people around you that you have it as well. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns about this video, please leave them in the comments section below. And just remember, no matter who you are good at what you do, or else you wouldn't have the passion and desire within you to do it. Keep moving forward, be confident, and I hope 2019 is your best, most successful year yet. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.